seminar series is little different. So let us start. I hope on your screens you are able to see this presentation.
No, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji. Can you just
Not yet.
present again?
No.
Let me check. Is it visible now?
Yeah. Now it is visible.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, sorry for the little delay. This technology, all these products like Zoom, Google Meet, they have their own unique ways, different ways of sharing screens. So, sometimes some problems. So, welcome to these seminars, Life's Amazing Secrets. This is about wisdom of happy life. Um, all of us are seeking happiness in life. From that perspective, we always need to go deeper into the secrets of life. And we have summarized certain sessions which are in front of you. 7 sessions we will be going through. And as it was discussed with all the participants, most of the participants expressed that rather than on all continuous 7 days across weekdays also, rather than that, they will be comfortable more with weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. So these 7 sessions we will be covering on upcoming Saturdays and Sundays. First 2 sessions, today's session is Saturday today. Tomorrow one session will be covered, second session. Third and fourth, next Saturday, Sunday. Fifth and sixth, the next Saturday, Sunday to that. And seventh on the Saturday, which is after that. So these 7 sessions will be organized in that way. Of course, the life secrets as such are not so easy to understand. Through the small number of hours that we will be discussing, 1.5 hours probably for each of the session. So it's little difficult to cover a whole secrets, all secrets of life, but we will make an attempt to cover as far as possible, uh, relevant to the topics that we have decided to cover. So the first one is Gita relevant today? We'll be talking about background of Bhagavad Gita. We'll be talking about history of Bhagavad Gita. We'll be talking about pros, positives that Gita can bring in our life, and whether it is relevant in today's world. We'll be talking about this in session 1. Session 2 will be Gita summarized. We'll go little deeper into Gita. Of course, not complete verse by verse coverage. It will be chapter by chapter summary of each of the chapter. So that is second one. Third one is Science of Soul. It is the ABCD, as it is called, of spiritual knowledge, Science of Soul. Fourth one will be about Vedic wisdom. What are Vedas? What are different parts of Vedas? How we can benefit from Vedas? Whether Vedic knowledge is a mere mythology, or does it have any truth behind it? We'll be seeing those topics in fourth session. Fifth one is connecting to spiritual power. We talk of spiritual life. Many people seek spiritual life. Many people know little bit about spiritual life. Many want to know and how to connect to our real spiritual power, our own spirit soul, or the supreme soul, God. That will be the fifth one. Sixth one will be good and bad reactions, or as it is very famous, laws of karma. So what are these laws of karma? Why do good things happen? Why do bad things happen? Why even after doing good, sometimes we see bad reactions? What is the relationship between your deeds and the fruits that you get in return? So we'll be talking about that in sixth session. Seventh will be the ultimate purpose of all religions. So religions are there, whether they are true, whether they are correct, whether they are equal, what are their teachings, and why there are conflicts. Why now you may not be able to see the depth of the topic just by looking at the title. When we go through them, we will be able to see that they are the pillars of living a successful or happy life. These discussions are so important, which are most of the times neglected in our modern society or modern education system. So we'll be going through the topics one by one, as I said, on Saturdays and Sundays, 11:30 to 1 o'clock. So the protocol would be the speaker will be speaking, giving presentation. Probably Nilesh Prabhu, if he is there for all the sessions, he will coordinate. He will convey to the speaker, because as a speaker, I am just seeing my own presentation now. It is full screen. To see all of you is not possible in between. But if there is a question somebody has, then I think there may be something like sharing some message, asking some question that you can use. You can put your questions as and when the session is going on. Maybe Nilesh Prabhu can interrupt me in between. He will handle the audio and ask the question if it can be immediately solved. That way we will go. If the answer to the question is too long, and the coverage of topic will be hampered, then we will discuss it afterwards in question answer session elaborately, or the answer to the question can be later on discussed in our group also, WhatsApp group. The purpose is all of us should get maximum coverage. We should be able to cover the topics. We should not get trapped into a single discussion somewhere. So for that, we'll follow this protocol. I hope all of you are happy with it. So today's topic will start: is the Bhagavad Gita relevant today? So uh, this particular topic uh, is introductory one. We may not get into the real details of what is there exactly as a principle in Bhagavad Gita. We will not go deeper into the principles as such, but we will see the relevance from overall Bhagavad Gita's position in Vedic literatures and its appreciation throughout the world for the reasons that are well established. So why should we read Bhagavad Gita? Is it relevant? Is it for today? When was it spoken? All these questions we will be discussing in this session. So, what is the Bhagavad Gita? Uh, Many of Indians or so-called Hindu religion people, unfortunately, have neglected in recent times reading about Bhagavad Gita. In fact, many of them don't even know what is Bhagavad Gita. Many youth also don't know Bhagavad Gita. Uh, Many people feel that it is irrelevant for today. So they have never gone into it. They have never seen it. In fact, in December month there is Bhagavad Gita distribution by ISKCON, and all over the world, people, devotees, they try to distribute Bhagavad Gita so that awareness about the Bhagavad Gita will be created. But many times on roads also people neglect, even in India, even though they do not have a copy of Bhagavad Gita, they tend to neglect. This is because of ignorance related to the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. They don't even know what is this book. They feel that somebody from sales marketing department of some book distribution agency might have come and they are trying to sell and make profits. But really speaking, Bhagavad Gita, more than the person who is distributing Bhagavad Gita or trying to sell Bhagavad Gita, more than the monetary benefit involved in that Bhagavad Gita distribution, real substance or real gain from the content of the Bhagavad Gita is for the person who reads it. Of course, it is for the person who helps distributing it. It is said that no one is dear to God than one who distributes this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to humanity. So that way, negligence of reading Bhagavad Gita is there. People are not reading it.
Prabhuji, your voice is not coming.
Yeah, we'll wait for some time. There is some technical issue.
Okay, okay.
Nilesh Prabhuji, you can call up Krishnapad Prabhuji.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, Prabhuji is joining in a minute.
Visible now? Yeah, yeah, now it is visible. Okay, good. So, sorry for the little delay. This technology.
So, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can see.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so till the time Prabhuji is joining, so I'll just continue. Okay. Okay, so Prabhuji was talking that nowadays people do not know the value of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita is such a important Vedic knowledge that everyone should have it. Okay, so irrespective of any caste, creed, or anything, so everyone should know Bhagavad Gita. Once you start reading Bhagavad Gita, so you will get to know that so many things which is very important for our life is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So you can say that all the secrets of life is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So that's the reason we have given this course name as Life's Amazing Secret.
Hare Krishna. Am I again back, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
I
Prabhuji.
don't
We
know
can.
how it got disconnected. So um, I'll again share this presentation.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, we can see Prabhuji.
Okay.
Visible, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I hope uh, I was there up to the point of importance of Bhagavad Gita and its historical timeline. I think I got disconnected when I was speaking about the history of the Bhagavad Gita 5,000 years back.
Yes, Prabhuji, just before that, little before that.
Okay, so this Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra during Mahabharat times, and this 5,000 years back it was spoken. And then fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that this particular Bhagavad Gita or this knowledge which is imperishable, I have given this knowledge to the sun god Vivaswan at the time of creation. And then from that time on, Rajarshi means the kings who came in cyclic successions, they actually got this knowledge through Guru Shishya Parampara. So like that, this knowledge is right there from start of the creation, as mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. So historically, the timeline of the Bhagavad Gita goes back to the uh, uh, creation of this world. So this is most ancient knowledge, old knowledge. Even it is mentioned as avyayam. Proktavan aham avyayam. I have spoken this imperishable knowledge. Imperishable means which doesn't perish, it doesn't go away. So Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years back again to Arjun to re-establish it because it was seemingly lost. Dharma nashtah parantapa. Seemingly it was appearing to be lost at that time because Krishna, as an incarnation, he comes and wants to re-establish the principles of dharma. So at that time, Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita. Krishna, who is Bhagavan himself, as it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita as Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. I hope that was, uh, he told. Was I there at that? I got disconnected.
Yeah, just
Yes.
you were
Yes.
there. You were there, Prabhuji. You can continue.
Okay. So Sri Bhagavan Uvacha is the Lord or God. So where was it recorded? It was recorded by Srila Vyasadeva because Mahabharat was recorded by Srila Vyasadeva, and Mahabharat, the part of Mahabharat is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is within the Mahabharat. So it was recorded by Srila Vyasadeva. In fact, it was written down by Lord Ganesh, and that way this literature is famous all over the world. The next point is why only Bhagavad Gita out of such a massive Vedic literature which is supposed to be around 1 billion verses, and why only Bhagavad Gita? So Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be the essence of all Vedic literature. That's why Bhagavad Gita is a fast way or quicker way of understanding all the Vedic literature. So that's why out of ocean of whole Vedic literature, we focus on Bhagavad Gita more than any other literature. So if we
Prabhuji, can you put it in PowerPoint mode, full screen mode?
yes, uh, this relevance of this Bhagavad Gita is what is it today is very important point to be discussed. History, if we see modern history means last few hundred or few thousand years, which is recorded by modern man from evolution perspective. And ancient history means that history which comes from billions of years since creation. So both these histories actually need to be understood in right perspective in order to understand the relevance of Bhagavad Gita today. So modern history, which is British history or Mughal history, we see that it is recorded by so many people in the past, but that record of modern history appears to be different for different nations many times. But Vedic ancient history appears to be recorded very carefully in our Vedic literatures. Of course, there are some, additions later on done by unscrupulous people, which need to be thrown out. But most of the Vedic literature, especially Bhagavad Gita, was carefully preserved. So it is from modern history point of view, although people might have lost the touch of Bhagavad Gita, Vedic ancient history brings out importance and imperishable nature of the knowledge which is summarized in the Bhagavad Gita. And as far as our life's quality is concerned, history, whether it is modern or Vedic, is very, very essential, because past experiences in fact give us the details of what has happened following a particular kind of lifestyle. So even science also um, is nothing but a work of past people who have experimented and carefully recorded their experience. That is called as science today. So science also cannot stand without proper recording of history. Most scientific books in Vedic ancient literatures also are preserved very carefully, and they are based on scientific, experimentation or scientific observations. So, in fact, from that perspective, our past is important, because we will not. It is said that one who forgets history are condemned to repeat it. So we don't want to do the same mistakes that our forefathers might have done, or the experiences which are there related to what happens to a particular kind of lifestyle, what is the end result. That is available in Vedic ancient literatures about civilizations which have been there in the past. So, in today's situation, especially in such a chaotic situation, it is sometimes said that history is written by those who ruled the world. So, therefore, we just don't want to get into that kind of history, which may be written by some crooked mind or some people from political point of view to gain some material advantage. This particular Bhagavad Gita or the ancient history is free from such defects. So therefore, we can trust it. In fact, many genius people, they have given their standing or their observations about the ancient Hindu or Sanatan Dharma. In fact, Dr. Stein Sigurdsson, Pennsylvania State University, he has said that Sanatan Dharma or Hinduism is the only religion in which the time scales correspond to those of modern scientific cosmology. The Hindu literature is work of a genius, he says. Further, Dr. Kevin Hurley of the University of California at Berkeley, he says that how could Hindus have possibly known all this 6,000 years ago, when scientists have only recently discovered this using advanced equipment which did not exist at that time. Such concepts were found only recently, he says. So this is one of the misconceptions of modern society, that they feel that everything which is scientific is recently discovered. But actually we see today also, whatever these scientists are recording or discovering today, it is carefully recorded in Vedic literature and it works. So whether it is a short-term goal of life or long-term goal of life, we need to take into account the scientific observations which were made in the past. And Bhagavad Gita is essence of all those essential teachings of life, or the goals of life, or the ways of life, or the rules of life. So that way it is very much relevant. uh, you know um, this mention of this life, next life, transcendental life, in fact, points to the short term or long term nature of our way of living life or looking at life. So when we live life, whether we live it as only one life, or whether we live it as a life amongst many lives. So reincarnation is an important concept which Bhagavad Gita discusses. So if we take into account the timeline of ourselves also, something which may be beneficial short term may be harmful long term. Something which is only for enjoyment of this life may be harmful for next life, and may be very detrimental or demeaning for transcendental or life beyond this or next life. So all these discussions the broadening of vision of a person, taking into account the timeline or history, past, present, and future, we can see that Bhagavad Gita is very, very relevant today also. In fact, it is called as Laukik, Parlaukik, or Alaukik. Today's situation is called Laukik, or this life. Parlaukik means after death, what will happen to me? And Alaukik means how can I transcend beyond birth and death? How can I exist without having deathlessness, or Amaratva as it is called in Sanskrit? So all these conceptions are very much relevant, and when we take into account all these views from Bhagavad Gita, all of them are relevant. In the past they were relevant, now also they are relevant, and tomorrow also they will be relevant. For example, recently in European Heart Journal, a peer-reviewed journal of cardiology published by Oxford University, it is pointed out that the Bhagavad Gita is more relevant than ever, especially now in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. This article clearly says this, and they have likened the Prince Arjun to healthcare workers and the Kurukshetra battlefield to hospitals. So people are relating to Bhagavad Gita under all circumstances, all situations. They were related to our life in past, now also, and present also. So historically, it is very, very relevant. I have gathered few reasons. There are actually unlimited reasons, but I have summarized the reasons why we should, see Bhagavad Gita very much relevant to our life, very much relevant today also. We'll go through these 10 reasons one by one. But these 10 reasons, probably from a new person's point of view who is unaware of Bhagavad Gita, for him, they actually give only tip of the iceberg. Much truth lies beyond behind or below that iceberg, which is big, which is huge. So these 10 reasons are only, pointing out very superficially why Bhagavad Gita is very, very relevant to our life, very much important to our life. So we will go through these 10 reasons one by one. First one is about quick solution. Many times for all of our problems nowadays, we want a quick solution. If it is too complicated, even a software, for example, if it is too complicated for us to handle, we tend to neglect that software and use a very easy to utilize the software. So we are always wanting a quick solution. We want to save the time. So this time factor is very important, especially in today's world. We cannot go on waiting on or experimenting. We know that ocean of information is available in the world today. Any modern science, any modern historical perspective, any arts, commerce, science branch, engineering branch, or medicine or doctor branch, all these knowledge areas, they are unlimited. And in fact, only a small area also, if one takes, for example, one takes up engineering, and within engineering one takes up some electronics engineering or mechanical engineering. Within that also there are um, subjects which are we call them subject experts in a particular area within that mechanical engineering or computer engineering. So if we see even that scale, the knowledge in the world is unlimited amount of information is there about material knowledge, what to speak of spiritual knowledge. So lot of information, lot of Vedic literature, lot of modern scientific literature or any subject matter literature is available. And out of that ocean of knowledge, what knowledge is important for us to live meaningfully, live happily? It's very difficult to explore everything. We can't experiment with everything and try to prove everything and try to wait for the results to come. We can't do that because the life is very short. It's a very uh, fast going life. So then some things are also beyond our capacity to experiment. For example, I was giving in one of the talks reincarnation, whether it is true or not. Of course, there are scientific methodologies, scientific books, experiment done by people. One of them is Dr. Richard E. and Stevenson. We will be talking about reincarnation in Science of Soul more than now. But we can't experiment with our own life. We can't die and see whether I reincarnate or I exist. We can't. We have limitations. So we can't experiment everything and learn. In fact, we cannot afford experimentations many times. It's very huge cost that is incurred in research or in scientific exploration. So therefore it is not very I can say very affordable, very easy, or we can't wait for long time to be spent on experimentation. So therefore, how do I live after death, or how am I supposed to act in this world? Is there controller or God, or are there laws by which this world governs? Are there punishments for activities? Are there rewards for good activities? All these questions are little bit beyond our experimentation. In fact, we our lifespan is short. Our lifestyle is, many years are lost in only sleeping. Many years are, in academic learning. Many years are in office work. Many years are in family support. Many years are going in so many activities. If we take 100 years, so many years, half of them are lost in sleeping itself. We get our careers through a hard struggle. So we have very less time, very less lifespan. But from that perspective, Bhagavad Gita, which is a summary, or which is quick guide to the life, quick definitions, quick, uh, you know, uh, truth establishing facts are there in Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, it's a quick solution. When we read Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to understand why it is, so powerful to learn. How it is so powerful to learn within no time. If we take some verses of Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to see the validity of this particular reason why it is a quick solution. For example, if we go on experimenting about mortality of a man, we may not be able to establish it right away. Method of experimentation, but Bhagavad Gita clearly state that people in this world will die. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. One who has taken birth is sure to die. So what is the point in experimenting it? It's a truth which can be seen right away. So that kind of knowledge, quick solution methods are there in Bhagavad Gita. Second reason, I hope I'm audible, visible, and PowerPoint presentation is going on smoothly. Somebody can give
Yes,
me.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Everything
Yes,
is fine.
thank you. Thank you. So, second reality of Bhagavad Gita, or second fact or truth or reason that why Bhagavad Gita is important, is it presents truth that actually never changes. In fact, situations around us are changing. Our own bodies are changing. Our intellectual capacity or intellectual prowess is changing. The knowledge in the world is changing. Things which were used as truth in the past, many times they are no longer considered as a full truth, complete truth. And then tomorrow also something comes up, and then today's thing which was considered to be truth will be considered as some not true. So that is called as relative truth. Relative truth means something which is true in certain context, something which is true under certain circumstance, or it is applicable to only some place, it is applicable to some people, it is only applicable to certain timeline. So this is called as relative truth. And life is full of duality and relativity. Life is full of different perceptions. So for example, sometimes apparent truth is harmful, sometimes apparent speaking false is good. So within this duality, I hope you are able to get my point. Sometimes we have to speak false for the sake of saving a higher reality, for the sake of saving somebody's life. Sometimes we may be speaking truth which may become harmful for somebody. So these are called relative truths, or relative uh, time, place, circumstance wise changing um, facts. So absolute truth is something which is always higher as compared to the duality related truth and false thing. So for example, if you speak true or if you speak false, if the purpose behind your speech is higher and it is beneficial to all in the long term, and it is going to give a bigger huge spiritual benefit out of that speaking false, then it is considered to be absolute truth, which is good for all, under all circumstances, for all time to come, for all places, for all people. It is going to be ultimately beneficial. That is called as absolute truth. So uh, absolute truth, it means that something which is good, beneficial, true, and which is never changing fact, it is called absolute truth. The absolute truth in this world is very rare, very difficult to get. I was speaking about history. In fact, history, if it is to the his patient, but that injection is very painful. Sometimes the patient cries, why are you so cruel? Why are you creating such a violence? You are supposed to be curing me and you are using violence against me. So apparently this appears to be a truth. This is called as a relative truth. But since that particular person is suffering from some disease and he may need a surgery which may become very painful for him without anesthesia, so some doctor is giving him anesthesia so that he will be saved from suffering and ultimately he will be cured from his disease. So this is called as, absolute truth analogy. I hope I am making this point clear to you. So what is better? Which perspective is better? Relative truth of that patient seeing the doctor as somebody who is violent, or higher truth is the doctor is not violent in true absolute sense. He is working on a higher level of knowledge. He is working in a higher scale of time. He is working, for ultimate benefit for the person. So therefore, such absolute truth that never changes is preached by the Bhagavad Gita. Even though Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years back, and it is repeated time and again over the history. Many great saintly people, great people have appreciated the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. It is practical for all time, place, circumstances, and it is applicable as absolute truth under all circumstances. So it is not impractical for today's time. It is not impractical place. It is not impractical for circumstance that we are living in. And it is absolutely true now also, even though it was spoken so many years back. So this is the reason. Second reason, truth that never changes is preached by Bhagavad Gita. Now, applicable to everyone. This Bhagavad Gita's knowledge, all over the world it is preached. Bhagavad Gita is one of the most famous books in the world. Millions of congregational members of ISKCON actually are trying to distribute the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and share across the world. Many countries have, this ISKCON movement. They preach Bhagavad Gita there. It is very famous. Many poets, many scholars, many scientists, people from all walks of the life, they have read Bhagavad Gita. They have appreciated Bhagavad Gita. And, if we see this Bhagavad Gita as it is, in this book also it is mentioned, ISKCON's Bhagavad Gita, it mentions the appreciation of Bhagavad Gita by various scholars or various philosophers or various experts in the field of religion. So therefore, this Bhagavad Gita is very, very applicable to everyone. For example, Dr. Elvin H. Powell, professor of sociology, State University of New York, he appreciates Bhagavad Gita. He says, if truth is what works, as Peirce and pragmatists insist, there must be a kind of truth in the Bhagavad Gita as it is, since those who follow its teachings display a joyous serenity, usually missing in the bleak and strident lives of contemporary people. So, Dr. Elvin Powell, he is a professor of sociology in State University of New York. Nationality doesn't matter. He is seeing factually that one who follows Bhagavad Gita, he looks to be more happy than anybody else. Then caste, there is a lot of divide about caste. Many times in India, politicians use this caste divide to gain political advantage. They separate people, in they divide and rule. But irrespective of any caste, people actually find interest in Bhagavad Gita. In our temple in Nigadi also, in India, various followers of ISKCON or followers of Bhagavad Gita, they are from various castes. Whether it is today's time or whether it is history, irrespective of caste, creed, or race or a particular community, people follow Bhagavad Gita. People understand Bhagavad Gita. People try to appreciate Bhagavad Gita. It is not only meant for male. It is not only meant for female. It is for everybody. It is for every religion also. Many now these appreciations from Bhagavad Gita, as it is, if we see, these people are expert many times in their own religions. So if we see Dr. J. Stilson Judah, Emeritus Professor of the History of Religions and Director of the Library Graduate Theology Union, Berkeley, he is appreciating Bhagavad Gita. He is saying in this beautiful translation, this particular Srila Prabhupada's translation has caught the deep devotional spirit of the Gita and has supplied the text with an elaborate commentary in the truly authentic tradition of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, one of India's most important and influential saints. So although Dr. J. Stilson Judah, he's professor of history of religions, and he is from not apparently from this Vedic Hindu Sanatan Dharma religion. Still, in his theological observation, he is finding that it is important, and most influential saints and their authentic tradition is covered in the Bhagavad Gita. So, irrespective of religion, it is applicable. Irrespective of age, irrespective of whether it is a child, it is a youth or old age man, for everyone it is applicable. It is applicable across professions also, as I read out. These people are from different professions. It's not that it is for illiterate people only, it is for sentimental people only, it is for you know this people who have trust in some kind of religion, for them only. No, it is for all kinds of people, all walks of life, all professions, all nationality, caste, creed, etc. So we see that this Bhagavad Gita, which is very much relevant to everyone, is important for that reason. Then Bhagavad Gita speaks about living peacefully or happily. There are many peace formulae given in Bhagavad Gita. In fact, if we deeply contemplate sitting calmly about our life, if we are thinking, we are trying to share the life's amazing secrets. What for these secrets are? If one person sits calmly and thinks, why do I live? What is my purpose of living? Why do I go to office, or why do I go to my school, college? Why do I make career? Why do I why do I get involved in a family life? What is the purpose of my living? The core of all of the purposes can be summarized in our in our need or desire to stay peaceful and to be happy. So for peaceful living or happy living, it is very important that we understand the relevance of the Bhagavad Gita. Goal of living, as I brought out, is related to happiness. That happiness is different kinds of happiness are analyzed very scientifically by Bhagavad Gita. We see that there are sufferings in the world. We will see the details of what kind of sufferings are there in the world, and who suffers. In fact, sufferings are also universal, irrespective of where a person lives. We see that many people are suffering. Sufferings like poverty, sufferings coming out of their own diseases or their own mental problems like stress, anxiety, or depression. All of these problems, they are not only limited to few people. They are all over the world. They are universal. So the analysis of these problems is very perfectly done in Bhagavad Gita. We see a comprehensive definition of what are real problems of life in Bhagavad Gita. It is very clearly mentioned. We from Bhagavad Gita we know what kinds of happiness are available for a person, and as I said in previous slides, there is a short-term happiness, there is a long-term happiness. All of this is discussed very elaborately in Bhagavad Gita. Uh, Principle wise, there are formulae which are given to identify the causes of these uh, sufferings. There are solutions which are very specific to specific requirements of happiness, whether it is short term, whether it is long term, or happiness within this full life, or happiness beyond this life when we reincarnate, or eternal happiness, all the times being happy. All of this is very nicely discussed in Bhagavad Gita. So it is relevant today from that point of view also. Isn't it that becoming happy is relevant today? Is it that in the past only people wanted to become happy? Today also that is our genuine need. So is Bhagavad Gita relevant today? This question is something like, is becoming happy relevant today? Yes, becoming happy today also is, of course, it is relevant. Similarly, if I ask, is eating, is eating relevant today? Is breathing relevant today? Is drinking water relevant today? These are stupid questions. In fact, one of our saints, a sannyasi, disciple of his divine grace, Srila Prabhupada, he says that this question itself is absurd. So the title itself is kind of absurd, but because so many people are so much ignorant about Bhagavad Gita, this catchy is Bhagavad Gita relevant today topic is you know titled that way. But as eating is relevant today, as drinking water is relevant today also, today what to speak, every day we are breathing, we are eating, we are sleeping, and we want to become happy, we want to be peaceful under all circumstances. So from that perspective, this Bhagavad Gita is very much relevant today also. Then overcoming vices and demoniac propensities. We see that vices actually demoniac properties, they lose that sight. Many times they lose that sight. Many times their intelligence is so corrupt. The intelligence is supposed to discriminate what is good, what is bad, what is correct, what is incorrect. The intelligence is supposed to give us that power. But many people we have seen, all of us might have vices, their actions are so much harmful to society. In fact, one recent news that I heard, that Apple company, this industry, there was some ruckus by these leftist people, laborers, and they destroyed part of that setup or workshop, and there was a loss of so many crores of rupees. So these people, seemingly they were demanding their own rights, but they feel that they are doing nothing wrong, there is no remorse. In fact, we see many times that they are so some terrorists and all, they are so grossly demoniac that they don't even understand the harm that they are doing to the society. So this understanding of what is a vice or what is a demoniac propensity, what is harmful, what is not good, these basics are also not there in people's understanding today. Many times they don't even know who is a cheater, who is a leader, political leader who is cheating them actually. That political leader will give them some short term benefit, and the whole society will follow those people, and these leaders will take whole society into a problem. So Hare Krishna. So these demoniac propensities have to be identified. As I was saying, the history, who has written that history is important. If a demoniac person writes his own history, his own perspective, he will take everybody into a ditch. He will take the society into a very wrong path. So, people, all of us, we need to understand what are vices and what are the symptoms of that vice. Not only for others, but also for ourselves. Many times, our ego doesn't accept that we are acting in a very wrong way, in a demoniac way. We become so selfish and self-centered that we do not care for others, and that kind of attitude actually gives a blind eye to our own fallacies, our own problems, our own vices. So recognizing those demoniac propensities, it is well defined in Bhagavad Gita what are demoniac ways of living and what are pure ways of living. So recognizing them and actually understanding need of repairing them and actually having a process by which one can purify oneself is very, or get rid of his demoniac propensity, is very much required. So from that perspective, Bhagavad Gita is very helpful today. And more are the vices in the society, more are the destructive mentalities, more are the these you know unnecessary disturbances to the society, more unhappy we will become. So intelligence is the important part of the intelligence, or as it is called in Sanskrit, sat asat vivek buddhi, sat vivek buddhi, the intelligence by which one can actually discriminate between ultimate good and bad. So sometimes we mistake this intelligence only as some skill that helps us to earn money. I am an intelligent engineer. I want to become an intelligent engineer. That is a skill, and that doesn't mean that you are overall intelligent. Nowadays, in today's society, we see that people are only concerned about that external intelligence. But we see that so many very intelligent people becoming terrorists and becoming very harmful to the society. So that intelligence is not whole intelligence. It's not holistic. It's a very shallow definition of intelligence. It's not that only some educated people are intelligent, only some particular profession people are intelligent. Vices, their understanding, the demoniac propensities, divinity promoting a process by which people will become purified, get rid of their vices. All this is part of human intelligence, and therefore this overcoming vices, demoniac propensities, by training, by repairing, by purifying intelligence, by that process is very much preached in Bhagavad Gita. So it is very much insight into the heart of person. By just looking at their symptoms, their behavior, a person can becomes intelligent. In fact, many politicians, leaders cheat the society. Many businessmen cheat the people. All this cheating can be really identified beforehand. Before somebody cheats us, we can identify whether that person is demoniac or whether that person is really good. So we can actually understand depth of life from this perspective of good and bad from Bhagavad Gita. So this is one aspect which is very important. We say to, even to small children, we say, do this, don't do this, don't do this, this is bad, this is bad. These don'ts actually make many people disturbed, because they like those things which are said to be, you don't do that. So those activities, they are attached, many times they are attached to their bad habits. If you tell a person who is a drunkard not to drink, he will feel very offended. He will feel attachment to his own bad habits, and he will not be able to come out merely by saying don't do this. It doesn't work. So therefore we need higher taste, something which has to be done, something which is good. That activity has to be defined, that activity has to be done, that healthy lifestyle, as it is mentioned here, has to be identified. So that healthy lifestyle or a higher taste will uplift a person who is trapped into demoniac propensities. Now we understand that demoniac propensities many times they are very attractive to the person who is involved in those propensities for a long time. Uh, for example, a person who is involved in killing animals, killing living beings, and taking pleasure out of their, violence. This kind of people are there. Sometimes we even see in children, they have different destructive mentality. They take pleasure in damaging some other person's bicycle or some, toy. They will simply, destroy, and they will feel very happy when somebody cries. So these propensities actually will not go away so easily, because the person is conditioned or attached to these vices, these demonic propensities. So for them, there is a requirement of a process by which they can get a higher taste. They will get a higher happiness somewhere, so that they will leave the lower demoniac way of becoming happy. So becoming happy can be demoniac happiness, and it can be a divine happiness also. If we consider only happiness as goal of life, if we are taking destruction as our source of happiness, we will destroy the world and become happy. So this absolute nature of Bhagavad Gita helps us to identify which is absolute good, which is absolute bad, which is vice, which is demoniac propensity, and which is divinity, which is good, which is perfect for all, which is absolutely nice for all. So that higher taste, that knowledge by which it can be identified, and that healthy lifestyle, that promotion of the good is possible through Bhagavad Gita. And the people in general, since they are today lost in knowledge, lost Bhagavad Gita, they have these problems. They are not able to identify good people. They are not able to identify bad people. A person who is smoking and drinking and chewing tobacco and intoxication and eating meat, and he is giving knowledge in a beer bar. He is eating something which is harmful to him, which can produce cancer to him. He's lost his senses, and he talks about what is good for everybody, which political leader is good, which philosophy is good. He himself is having full vices. He is having cheating propensity. He is he himself may be a thief, but he is preaching what is good and what is bad to the society. And people in general, they feel that this is good. Whatever I feel good is good. Whatever he feels good is good for him. There is no absolute standard of good or bad in today's society, who is lost to transcendental knowledge. Therefore, for the today's society, which is lost with identifying good and bad, this absolute necessity of Bhagavad Gita is clearly seen. It is very clearly relevant to all of us today. So this was reason 6. Reason 7 is uh, real integrity or oneness. Many times a good society, we see that expectations from a good society as, everybody should have equal rights on God's property. So this is actually principle of Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Bhagavad Gita clearly says that one who doesn't recognize that the gifts of nature given to him by somebody else, he is not grateful to that person. He is defined as a thief. Stena eva saha, Bhagavad Gita verse says stena means chor, thief. So how can a society of thieves be happy? Srila Prabhupada asks in one of the conversations or one of the purports. He says that how thieves can become happy. If society is full of thieves, how they can be happy? If everybody is trying to grab the resources of nature, whether it is by good means or bad means, they are only concerned about their own selves. Then how then there can be equal rights? Because people who are having more grabbing mentality and they are having full vices, they will grab with illegitimate actions. So therefore equal rights will be lost to the society if we do not understand the sacrifices. We do not understand the for example, Family man sacrifices his own ego, sacrifices his own requirements for giving equal share to all family members. If all family members are not given equal rights, there will be a problem in family. They can't remain happy. If somebody grabs more and somebody is left with less, there will be, of course, fight in the family. So therefore, this integrity or oneness is lost when equal rights are lost. Bhagavad Gita actually preaches about real equal rights. It's not that only top floor or bosses are supposed to get everything and the shop floor worker is not supposed to get anything. So for everybody, how there is a path of happiness. Of course, a boss or a director of a company cannot have same payment as a yeah, cleaner of the company. It can't be there. That kind of impractical preaching is not there in the Bhagavad Gita. But what level equality can be achieved is very nicely expressed in Bhagavad Gita. So not only humanity Bhagavad Gita discusses about, but it also discusses about all living beings, including all animals or trees and everything. Now you consider equal rights for human beings, irrespective of their caste, birth, creed, religion, nationality. They should have equal rights, equal opportunity. Similarly, why can't there be equal opportunity for living beings like cow? Cow, she also has a feeling. She has also a family. She can give birth. She is also somebody's mother. Somebody, bull is somebody's father. They have their own feelings. They have blood. They have bones. They have pain when they are killed. They have their own rights of living. What to speak of cow? For any animal, there are equal rights for living. But who talks about equal rights of animals? Bhagavad Gita talks about it. Bhagavad Gita says that uh, 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 विद्या विनय संपने ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि शुनि चैव श्वपाके च पंडितः समदर्शिनः. Samadharshina means how one can have equal vision towards a very learned person, a brahmana. In Vedic Sanatan Dharma, a brahmana is supposed to be the most learned person, most divinely endowed person. So brahmana, gavi means a cow. Brahmana is equally seen as cow. Hastini, an elephant. Brahmane Gavi Hastini. Shuni means a dog. Shapake means a person who eats a dog, kills a dog. Panditaha Samadarshina, one who is in perfect knowledge, how he sees all living beings equally. It is given in Bhagavad Gita. So that equality, that justice, if we see today's justice scenario, it is all messed up. It's very hard to get justice. Even if we get cheated, we fear to go to courts, we fear to go to police people, because we don't have trust in them. Justice is almost lost. Equal rights are lost. People are given priorities based on their birth, based on their financial position. People take bribes from government agencies. So justice is lost. But if somebody adopts to the real integrity or oneness preached in Bhagavad Gita, they understand how they are related to each other, how they are like a family. Even cows or bulls or animals or trees or anything, they relate to each other in a very close, very deep, very spiritual way. So real integrity or oneness is important. If we do not feel oneness with family, if that oneness is intellectual compatibility, mental compatibility, physical compatibility, all these compatibilities are required, and they are established by the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, to get that equality, to get that oneness, that feeling of love towards all living beings, that is there in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, real integrity, oneness is possible in Bhagavad Gita by knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. This is reason number 7 why it is relevant today. Mind control and focus. Of course, this is very liked topic by many people. So this mind control, our mind is the center of our personality. All we think is with mind, all we feel is with mind, whether it is happiness, distress, or a taste of an object, we feel it with mind only. Seeing, we actually see properly when our mind is in seeing. We willingness, all willingness is there within the mind. All our abilities are developed because of mental power, mental strength. And we can focus on a certain thing only when our mind is in our control, otherwise we will not be able to focus. So mind control is very nicely established in Bhagavad Gita's philosophy. How can one achieve something by really controlling mind? So this is very much relevant today also. Then there is talk about scientific organization of society. All the times, many philosophers, many politicians, many leaders talk about how we can organize our society. In fact, there was always in India caste-based system based on birth was condemned. People actually feel disgusted when they are, discriminated based on birth. Somebody taking birth in Brahman family, he doesn't he exploited, as it is many times seen in history, that based on birthright sometimes some people take advantage of their position and exploit others. But this also has to be seen from proper historical perspective. In fact, many people, many Britishers and many Mughal people, they ruled us and they tried to divide us by showing bad examples in our society as um, actual our philosophy. But it is not like that. Even if somebody, for example, in a school, somebody fails, that doesn't mean the school itself is wrong. Like that, some people in society, they have not properly executed Vedic Sanatan Dharma. We can't use them as a proper example. But therefore, all the more it becomes important to know what our Vedic Sanatan Dharma says about birthright. We feel disgusted to give anybody a privilege just based on birth. A king, for example, can somebody immediately one leader, political leader, he is a chief minister, and then his son immediately becomes chief minister just because his father was chief minister? That is very incorrect. That is not desirable, because this person, if he is good or not for that position, has to be understood. Does it happen with our education? Does a person who is a doctor, does his son by birth becomes a doctor, or a lawyer by birth his son also becomes a lawyer? It is not right. So birthright is not correct actually. Birthright is actually not preached in our Vedic Sanatan Dharma. So therefore, our Bhagavad Gita actually brings out that a person should be identified for his natural work based on his qualities and activities that he does, not birth. Janma, this is Chatur Varnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. This is Bhagavad Gita's verse. It clearly says that the division of the society is, the organization of the society according to Bhagavad Gita is based on guna and karma. Guna means the qualities of the person. Karma means what actually he does, what are his activities. So therefore, there is no mention of birth there. So if we go to the real Sanatan Dharma and the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, which are the essence of Sanatan Dharma, we see that actually scientific organization of the society must be based on qualities and activities. One who has qualities and one who does his activities according to those qualities, he is deserving candidate for a particular right, particular position in society. So this scientific organization of the society is very well explained in Bhagavad Gita. Who deserves what, he gets that. And when he gets that, actually Bhagavad Gita says that the society will be very scientifically organized. So therefore, it is very much relevant today, where we have birthright based, privileges in society. So that single goal, when it is established, we also become one in society. Now it is competitive society many times. Cutthroat competition is there. People pulling legs of each other for going forward. This happens when there is no oneness in goal. When there is no oneness as a family, as a loving group of people is there. Cooperative spirit is required in the society to progress. So whether one is of this birth or that birth, one has to cooperate according to qualities and activities. So that cooperative spirit is invoked in Bhagavad Gita, giving them a single goal. Suppose we agree upon a single goal. For example, in our office, we agree on single goal that our office should produce more profit. So for that single goal, if everybody acts and adjusts according to qualities and activities into their positions and cooperate with each other instead of pulling legs of each other, that particular company will grow. Similarly, human society or this world, how it can become scientifically organized for a single goal is established in Bhagavad Gita. So for individual as for family or for society, it's a scientific organization that is given by Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, this is a strong reason why Bhagavad Gita should be seriously looked into. The 10th one, the final one, is ultimate solution to all very grave problems. It is said in Bhagavatam, dharmasya hi apavargasya. Apavarga means pa, fa, ba, bha, ma. Pa, parishram or lot of efforts. Fa means phena, means lot of stress coming out of that fatigue. Ba means byarthata, means everything is lost at the time of death. Bha means bhaya, fear of death. And ma means mrityu. The ultimately everybody dies and leaves everything behind. So apavarga means something contrary to this. We see that today's world, we are doing lot of hard work. We are tired many times of the hard work. Ultimately, we become bereft of everything. We get into some diseases, we get into old age, and we die ultimately, leaving behind everything that we have lived for. So what is the gain ultimately? So apavarga is something, that gain which will not be lost like this. Gain which will solve our problems of birth and death, solve our problems from the root, uprooting the problems. That is called, that is how it is called. Tapatrayo unmoolanam. Unmoolanam means taking it out from the roots, uprooting the problem, or the source of the problem itself is removed. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita promises ultimate solution to all unhappiness, all situations, all problems, and it is comprehensive. It is not जिसको संकुचित प्रवृत्ति बोलते हैं, बहुत छोटा सा डायमेंशन बोलते हैं, ऐसा नहीं. It is for all walks of people. A comprehensive, complete solution is given in Bhagavad Gita. This is reason number 10 why Bhagavad Gita is very important for us. So we will stop here. I'm sorry I took a little 4-5 minutes more, but if we have questions, we can now take them up. Before I close the session, I would announce that session 2 will be upcoming session. Next session, we will go into Gita in a summarized way. We talked about the importance, relevance, reasons. Tomorrow we will talk about what exactly is there in Gita. So you are all invited for that session. Tomorrow 11:30 a.m. I have mentioned 11 a.m. wrongly. 20th December, tomorrow, this talk will be there. So be here with us. Now, if any questions are there, we
If you want to type question also,
otherwise
you
we
can type it.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
It was really fantastic scientific based reasons that I understood now. Can I have some kind of a written thing
Notes?
that you've been talking about? Yeah, notes.
Yeah. This presentation will be shared in our group.
Okay.
And Nilesh Prabhu, in fact, will keep on giving us relevant links to various topics that we discussed. You yourself can also, search in each of the, discussion topics or points. I also spoke about certain research. We'll try to share some documentation related to that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
Guruji, if you can explain again, you said the happiness, ultimate happiness one can understand is the external and the internal. The internal being to be conscious about the demonic unhappiness. So अगर आप एक और बार आप बताओगे तो थोड़ा बहुत क्लियर हो जाएगा because everyone talks about happiness. For the first time I came to
हाँ
know that there are two ways, internal and external. So आप एक और बार बताओगे तो बहुत बढ़िया रहेगा गुरुजी.
very nice question. In fact, very relevant to today's topic also. We actually uh, get a depth of understanding of different kinds of happiness in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita actually talks mainly about three kinds of natures. The combination of these three natures give us different experiences in this world. So, in fact, our one of the sessions during these 7 sessions is covering that topic quite comprehensively. It is about these happinesses only: material happiness versus spiritual happiness, or internal happiness versus external happiness. So, what is internal will be discussed in the topic science of soul. So, when we understand the science of soul quite deeply, we also will be able to realize its relevance to our internal happiness. So, it will take a little bit of background, but overall, the happiness which is temporary, which is coming out of material body, is considered to be external happiness, and internal happiness is that which is sustainable, which is not changing according to time, place, circumstance. It remains there forever, eternally, and it is based on a higher state of knowledge, spiritual knowledge. It is based on a higher realization of or higher experience of some other spiritual realm, and it is coming out of a higher nature of a living being.
Yeah.
These natures, as I said, three kinds of nature: mode of
Consciousness.
ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of happiness. Tamogun, Rajogun, and Sattvagun. They are very elaborately described in Bhagavad Gita, and it is also explained. There is a happiness in the mode of ignorance. There is happiness in the mode of passion. There is happiness in the mode of goodness. I gave one example of demoniac person killing somebody or harming somebody and enjoying. So that happiness is described as a happiness in the mode of ignorance, or the happiness that comes out of sleep. That is also sometimes, it is described as a happiness in the mode of ignorance. So, like that, there are various kinds of happinesses, and there are different. Happy. So,
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, Prabhuji, Naresh here. Not a question. Just want to share that I've heard you many times, and every time it's the same level of transcendental realization which I get from you. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, and I'm already looking forward to your talk for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. In fact, our talk for tomorrow, the speaker is Jaina Hari Prabhu. He is equally or more than what I can speak. He is more realized, more experienced. But we will be taking these topics alternate. Today I took, tomorrow he will take, next Saturday again I will take, Sunday he will take. Like that, we will take these 7 sessions. Thank you, Naresh Prabhu, for your kind appreciation.
Thank you. That's great, Prabhuji.
And any other questions? Actually, I was just saying that we'll share this PPT as well as we'll get this recording of today's class as well. Okay. So if there is any other question, we can take it up.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I have a question. Rather, I will speak in Hindi if you are comfortable.
Yes, yes.
We have, yes, Prabhuji. So, I read some Gita regularly, like half an hour every day.
Huh.
And I came across a text saying that कि हमें हमारे emotions, I mean, anger, happiness, and all other are also emotions. So
Yes.
अपने emotions को balance, we should make a balance of your emotions all the time. ऐसे आप भी बोल रहे थे कि happiness है और ऐसा. तो अपने
हाँ
इमोशंस को बैलेंस कैसे करें? आई मीन बहुत कोशिश करने के बाद भी वी गेट एंगर ऑन समथिंग, वो हमारे हैबिट में है और वो होता ही है, या समटाइम्स वी गेट सरप्राइज और इतने खुश हो गए कि वी मेक सम रॉन्ग डिसीजंस.
यस
सो
यस
वो बैलेंस कैसे करेंगे उसके बारे में अगर कुछ बता सकते हैं तो प्रभु जी.
very valid question, very relevant. In fact, हिंदी में बोलूं कि इंग्लिश में बोलूं?
नहीं, आई एम कंफर्टेबल विद बोथ द लैंग्वेज, बट मैं मुझे लगा कि मेरा क्वेश्चंस आई कैन मोर इजीली पुट अप इन हिंदी, सो आई आस्क.
Okay, fine. So I'll explain it in English. Our mind, as you said, that it is center of all of our happiness, feeling, willingness. Balancing that is an art. In fact, Bhagavad Gita gives us that art. It says that yoga karmasu kaushalam. Kaushalam means art. It's a great skill or art that one learns from Bhagavad Gita. Sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita is especially meant for giving us that ability to balance our personality. So this second chapter, third chapter also gives insight into the source of our imbalance. So it says that how anger comes out or how elation comes out. So it gives a chain of things that happen in our life. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधो भिजायते क्रोधो अभिजायते means how anger comes. So the chain reaction starts from a very deep rooted actions and reactions chain. So it is explained dhyato vishyan pumsam. One thinks about objects of sense gratification, और जो हमें भौतिक दृष्टि से अच्छी लगती है ऐसे वस्तु को देख के हम उसके प्रति एक आकर्षण पैदा करते हैं. संगात संजायते कामः. कामः means after that developed, we become attached to obtaining that object or a situation or the the background that is required to obtain it. We create that situation within our mind. We create the desire to obtain it, and then sangat sanjayate kamaha. We become desirous of gaining it, and kamat krodho bhijayate. If we do not get it in time, it is not according to our plan. It is not according to our mental requirement, intellectual requirement. It is not according to our philosophical bent of mind. Then we become very angry. So if we want to cure that anger, we have to go to the root. That kind of sense, that kind of adjustment we get through the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. So the cure is not artificially suppressing that anger which comes out of frustration, where we lose our mental balance. The cure is at deeper level, where we have a meditation on the object of sense. So therefore it teaches us, in nutshell I gave some information, but this itself is a big topic which is discussed elaborately in sixth chapter, especially from Bhagavad Gita.
Hari Bol Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol. I think with this we will close, Nilesh Prabhu.
Throwing dhula.
Right.
Yeah, I would like to say sincere gratitude from our family, both the Gurujis. It was a fantastic first day learning of the life's amazing secret. Looking really forward for tomorrow and the subsequent events. I think it is going to change our life, and so grateful from the bottom of my heart to actually get into this. I'm really thankful to you all, Guruji. Thank you.
Hari bol,
You are
Hari bol,
welcome.
Hari bol, Prabhu.
Hari Bol.
Hari